microphones, if they would. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. Remain standing for prayer by Pastor Blissfield.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pardon me in prayer. Gracious and loving God, in this season of Thanksgiving, we have so much to be thankful for. We thank you for our families, our friends, for this blissful village of Blissfield. Remind us also that to those who have received much, much is required. That means us, Lord. May we be as generous to others as you are to us. We pray for our nation and other nations as well. We pray for peace in troubled spots around the world, such as the war between Russia and Ukraine. We pray for the Christians and others being killed in Nigeria, especially the young girls that were abducted. We pray for the leaders in our state and our local community. Protect them and give them wisdom tonight and always as they carry out their many responsibilities. Pray all these things in the name of our Savior Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Lots. Start out roll call, Lisa.
Mike Gunner,
Present.
Gwen Dusa,
Here.
Bill Gritzmaker,
Here.
Sherry Luce,
Here.
Ken Nichols,
Here.
Eric Rogers,
Here.
Timothy Waters.
Present. Welcome, everybody. Moving on to minutes from previous meeting.
I move to approve the minutes of the November 10th, 2025 as presented.
Support. A motion, Gwen, and a second, Bill, to approve the minutes of November 10th, 2025 as
Think
presented.
so.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Lisa, call roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Yes.
Mike.
The motion carries. Moving on, any presentations or communications? Danielle? Nothing. All right. Now we'll move on to approval agenda for tonight's meeting.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Support. Motion, Eric, and a second, Tim, to approve tonight's agenda, November 24th, 2025, as presented. Any discussion or changes? Hearing none, Lisa, call roll.
Gwen,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes. That motion carries. Moving on, public comment. Anybody from the public who wishes to address council? Carl, we would state your name for the record, sir.
Carl Harbeck, 402 East Jefferson. Basically, I'll try to keep this short tonight. Talk about what we all got in the mail about the brush ordinance, been updated, very good. There's only a problem. It says brush pickup except in November, only leaf pickup, and all over town we've got brush out. I talked to Maddie, she had a list, and I gave her 4 or 5 other places. But I was wondering what's going on. Before I came here to the meeting, I went online to the November calendar, and on the 11th and 25th, it says brush pickup. So maybe people are confused because we all got this, and maybe they didn't focus in on, brush pickup second and fourth Tuesday of each month, except in November, only leaf. So maybe they went to the calendar and saw brush pickup and said, we can still put it out. So maybe that's the problem. The other problem is if people saw it and still don't care, we need to start doing something about the problem, which I know Gwen mentioned a couple of meetings ago about give them a ticket, give them a fine, quit warning people over and over and over. At some point, we've got to, do something. In fact, looking at 415 East Adrian Street, guess what? When this council bumped it down and said enough, your permit's pulled, within 30 days, look what happened. Well, we got tough. Shouldn't have to get tough at everything, but sometimes we really got to get a little tough on people and say, look, enough. This is our village. We want it to look nice. And there's things that, just like garbage pickup, there's a place over in the West End. The garbage was out Tuesday. No, it gets put out Thursday night. Maddie knows about that. And it's but ongoing problem with that property, it's rental property. why is there garbage out on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays? No, it's Thursday night it goes out. So the ordinances we have, just like the private signs in the public right away, you know, these garage sale signs, well, let them go out on Friday, well, no one's here on Friday, and so it doesn't get dealt with, you know. So again, you know, these signs all over town, it's against the ordinance, but they're not being enforced. So I don't know how we can do it. Talk to Maddie, and so she was gonna talk to Danielle about that, how to enforce some of this stuff. Because I know Maddie's got 6 jobs, I get it. But if we want to get this town cleaned up, get it straightened out, so it looks nice. Because I was just up in Wyandotte this past week and talked to some people up there. Wyandotte's booming, and that's where I was before I came here. I was very heavily involved in Blake and all that. Wyandotte's booming. In fact, Wyandotte, I heard a rumor from somebody that Adrian is talking with Wyandotte. This is what, so I went to Adrian City Hall and talked to the lady there. That it was a, like I said, I heard during conversation or something with Wyandotte. She said, yeah. She said one of their commissioners went online, did research, and found out how Wyandotte has been doing. Wyandotte deals with it. Wow. So they were talking to them. So I you know, I'm your guy, because I was there when it all started. And she said, what? And I explained to her what we did, and we got the job done. We just didn't talk, but we got the job done. So she said, would you be willing to meet with some of us in Adrian? And I said, anytime you want. So I'll be meeting with them on the 1st, 2 people, and I'll be sharing all the things we did. Because I went to Wyandotte, and boy, is it moving. There's only one vacant building, and it's vacant because they're redoing. Everything is full and packed. People on the street, it's great. Just like Plymouth, great. Northville, great. Ypsilanti, great. Wyandotte, great. Because they're doing certain things. Tecumseh too, it's a wonderful town. So again, Mike mentioned earlier in the year about maybe we need to look at other successful towns to find out what are they doing that they are so successful, and they're doing very, very well. So bottom line is the ordinances and things we have, whatever, it's like that there has to be things that we can do, and there are things we can do. But we have to do, we got the ordinances, but are they being enforced? And I'm not trying to be a boulder, grown-up complainer, but I know success. I know success. I lived in Plymouth, I lived in Wayne, I lived in Wyandotte. And I know success because we had it. I know what we did. I know what I did. So, you know, hopefully I can help here, but there are things we can do. But again, the ordinances, as far as I can see, are really not being enforced. And we need to do that so we can get our town cleaned up. So I guess that's all I have to say. Any questions? Anybody have any questions or anything? But, oh, okay, that's all I can say. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Anybody else? All right, now we'll move on. We'll finish business. First, we've got the pool liner discussion. Yeah, turn it over to you.
So I did carry forward the same agenda item that was presented to you guys before. We took no action on this because you had asked me to try to reach out to some different references and talk to them about the specifically the interglass liner that was, or finish that was proposed by the American Pool renovations. I had, prior to that meeting, reached out to Silver Sand Resort, Hampton Inn, and Spring Hill Suites, and did not hear back from any of them at the last meeting. I did hear back from one of them, well, actually 2 of them. Spring Hill Suites is a new manager, and they couldn't speak to the project, but they did say that the pool is holding up nicely at this point. They don't have any concerns, but they had no knowledge of when it was bid out and when the actual work was completed. I never heard back from Hampton Inn. I did reach out to several other people. I reached out to Wheatland Rec Center, the city of Windsor, and then Elgin Community Center. Elgin They never responded back. I also emailed them, called them multiple times. It's been a little bit of a challenge. Elgin Community Center did call me back. I had missed the call. He left a message saying that he would recommend that product, that he would love to talk to me about it more. I've tried to call a couple times. I've not heard back from him. The person I did talk to for actually probably 40 minutes was Dave with Silver Sand Resort. So they are a Michigan campground, and it's an outdoor pool. It's quite a bit smaller than ours, but their pool, it's about 30 by 50 with a 10-foot deep end. Their pool was 60 years old when they got the interglass finish put in, and it was previously plastered before that, and he said that they would get 3 years, they'd have to patch it, and maybe get 5 years, have to completely replace it. And he said he couldn't recommend it enough. He repeated it, I don't even know how many times. He said, so they installed it in, I'm trying to read all my notes here, 6 years ago, and he said today it looks just as good as the first day that they installed that interglass product. He said it was a little bit more expensive than all of the other products, but he would choose it again. He said that the contractor was amazing. They had no issues throughout the entire project. I asked him about how they winterize their pool because I was curious how it compared with how we do it and what they do for maintenance. And he said that they obviously drain all of the lines and then they put some algicide in the pool and they don't touch it until they clean it in the spring. They do cover their pool that helps keep some of the leaves and debris because it is wooded. So he said when they cover it, they'll pull that cover so that the leaves and the things don't get into the pool, which he does think that helps. But he said he was very skeptical. Him and his wife actually traveled to the company before they installed it because he was not sure about the product and the cost was quite a bit more. So they went and met with the people. He said he called a bunch of people. They went and looked at some places that they installed, and again, he did go with them and loved it. So that is what I know.
16-year-old pool, Dana?
Their pool was 60 years old when that new interglass finish was put into it. 60, yes,
Okay.
60-year-old pool. The interglass finish has been installed now for 6 years. And again, he said it looks exactly the same today as when they installed it. The only thing he's had to do, they opted for a tiled, like decorative border around their pool, and they've had to regrout the tile. And he said that's other than that, there's been no maintenance other than cleaning and like their normal opening and closing.
I think that's a good testimony to the, maybe that's, I'm sorry, a little bit. Their outdoor pool compared to our outdoor pool, after 6 years, looks like it's brand new. So I think that lends to the credibility that it's going to have some longevity to it, some durability to it. And, I've had a couple conversations throughout between the experts and now. Prices, one with the interglass is really $75,000 more than quartz or something. But I think that the better quality of product we apply, we're going to get more. Longevity out of it. So it's going to last. How old is our?
6 years. The first season was 2019 and it was a partial, it was a full season, but you had to like make an appointment. I don't know the full details, but that was obviously over there. That year.
My point, or I guess my take on it, certainly B&B has been good to us. They've been with us through the entire construction and all the closings and openings things. They've been great. Doing some research again, it's been 6 years, so going back, looking at this thing. April 23rd of 2018 is when we did some change orders, just due to the costs of the build. Again, our engineering is always appears to be off from what we assume things are supposed to be put out at. But we had to remove the cupola, change the roof, we changed the finish, which was supposed to be originally pebble. I'm correct, Brent, right? There was the original design. We went with the Marsite, which obviously hasn't lasted or held up. You know, like Bill said, doing the research on the interglass, again, the amount of chemicals that we use, that thing sits out, you know, through the elements. That stuff bonds very well here to the concrete. We've got a lot of high water table out there. The amount of muriatic acid that we use to clean that pool, it doesn't bond to that supposedly. So it's correct to the interglass. So again, you know, and then looking at the warranty, you know, 5 years versus 25 is an incredible difference. So again, we're looking at, you know, apples to oranges, but I think B&B went in there, they don't guarantee that the lane tiles are gonna come up, which I'm sure some will, that will add costs that's not included. So by the time all said and done, where I probably, you know, even with interglass or even more with B&B. And, you know, just for the public, you know, this is kind of what we decided at budget crunching time, you know, budget discussions. This would be the offset of, you know, the library, the amount that we spent on the library out of the general fund. So by that bond going through, that would allow us to redo this pool liner for the year. Hopefully it can get us, you know, at least 15, 20 years out of it. As much as I don't like to spend that much on the pool, it's definitely a necessity.
Daniel, the place that has the interglass now, are they near us? Are they in within our climate range?
They are. In fact, all the places that I called, I tried to specifically find outdoor pools in our same or similar climate because I wanted to be as close to comparable as possible. Really, the only big difference between them and ours is this, our pool is quite a bit larger. So their pool's, I think I said 30 by 50. But other than that, very similar climate.
And not well in the past, but looking back, you know, when we did do the change order and go from the pebble back to the Marsite to do the cost, that was a deduction of about 65,000. So now we're already looking at 250,000 to redo that liner. So again, it's just, you know.
My question would be this, Danielle, with the recommended motion being 171.5, okay, that being the cost. The difference of the 78, almost 79,000, where would we come up with that difference if we were to go for the interglass?
We budgeted 260,000 for this project. So the interglass at the 2,000 or 250,080, it would be under budget.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. Right there it is. I'm with the longevity. Longevity in my world, but we've got that budget. That's the route that I would take is the interglass as well.
Yeah, then I guess my only question would be is, you know, not to kick off B&B, you know, who've been good to us, but they need to understand, you know, I mean, but they still continue to do our openings and our closings and our maintenances.
Brent and I did talk to them, and I did share with him that we had been presented some different options. I obviously can't speak for them, but I would reiterate what we've already told them, that we do appreciate them working with us. I believe they would continue to do so. I think that they understand that we're trying to make the most economical decision and long-term for us. So I don't think there would be hard feelings. I obviously think they would be bummed because they're not being awarded the project, but I think would understand.
Yeah, I wish they did the interglass, because, you know, I 100% support them.
Yeah, and I did ask if they use that product, and what they quote, the three options they quoted are what they do.
Entertain a motion or more discussion.
I will make a motion to approve the contract with, thank you, Mid-America Pool renovation for the interglass finish in the amount of $250,080. Danielle, help me out on this part. I apologize. To include tower replacement and regrouting as needed. I would continue to say that.
That's included. in the
Okay.
proposal.
Gotcha. All right. And authorize the village administrator to execute the necessary contract documents.
I support that.
A motion, Gwen, and a second, Bill, to approve a contract with Mid-America Pool Renovation for the interglass finish for the pool liner for $250,080. Further discussion.
Are there any other projects for the pool that are expected in this fiscal year? Since we're budgeting 260, and we have around 10 grand left.
The only other item that we've talked about that we would like to move forward is putting a fire hydrant out there, because right now we run hose from the street to fill the pool every year. It would be nice to have that up there for filling in any emergency need should it arise. Hopefully it does not, but other than that, there's no immediate needs. We replaced our chlorinators 2 years ago. We have spare pumps, and our pumps, again, knock on wood, I hate to jinx it, are operating good. DPW got the slide fixed, so thank you to them.
Furniture, Danielle?
We do need furniture, which is gonna be far more than $9,200.
Heaters. Heaters.
Well, heaters are running. We typically get those serviced every year because they like to be a little bit touchy at the start of the year, but they were running last season and hopefully will continue. It would be good to save for pool furniture, really, would probably be, because that I would imagine is going to be costly, or it would be nice to start phasing it in, similar to what we're doing with the picnic tables at the park, and maybe start just replacing so many every year.
Anyone else? Lisa, call roll, please.
Who made the second on that? I'm sorry. Thank you. Eric,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Ken,
No.
Sherry,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes, motion carries. Moving on, new business, we need to appoint for statute another president pro tem board. When it's current,
Nominate Ken Nichols, president. Okay.
and I have a motion, Tim, any second, Sherry, to appoint Ken Nichols as president pro tem board for this next year, starting November 24th.
I nominate Gwen Dusa.
Motion for Gwen by Bill and a second by Eric. So we need to act on the first motion first, correct? Robert's rule.
Yes, under Robert's rules, you would act on the first and then the second. Even if it passes, right? This is where it gets weird.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because I think you have to roll call.
Mhm.
We ran into this last year too, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, yes, we do. We can discuss over with the stuff. So we got to talk about.
Let's talk about the first one. The first motion on the floor was, that's very kind. You guys do that, put my name out there. I would decline it.
Okay.
All right, so I'm declining. It's my first year and I don't have the seniority that anybody else has on this council.
Just to let you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a seniority.
I understand that,
I want you
but
to.
but I appreciate anybody else on here could do the job as well. Certainly that.
Are you declining that
I'm official.
nomination then? Yes.
Yes, I'm declining the nomination.
Okay. Tim or Sherry, do you care to withdraw your motion after that?
I'll
statement?
withdraw my support.
No. No. All right, is there a second then on Tim's motion? You guys got me started. Is there a second for the original motion to appoint Ken Nichols as president pro tem? Hearing on that motion fails. Discussion on Bill's motion. Eric second to appoint Gwen.
I like the idea. I think that since I've been on, there have been a couple of times where Gwen has led the meetings, and I think she's done a fine job with that. And there's no problem keeping that throughout this coming year as well.
And she has.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. That was very kind to offer support for me.
Gwen has been president pro tem for the last 2 years, so I'd like to see somebody else take that seat. But if you decline the nomination.
I think Gwen's done a fine job and she has no reason, in my opinion, to be relieved from that responsibility. So I would stick by my nomination of her. Move forward. She's also the Mike, the second highest, longest tenure here.
Yeah. That used to be kind of the way that changed. I'm not sure when that changed. Oh, I remember a couple years ago. No hard feelings. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
I understand exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so again, I get both sides, you know, I mean, if it's changing up to get more interest or get more involvement, that's fine, or, you know, more training, that kind of thing, that's fine too, but if you guys feel Gwen is not a top well based on seniority, go with that too, I'm going to go about it, so. If there's no further discussion, anyone? Please call roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Gwen,
Do I apologize, I do vote or not?
you can.
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Tim,
No.
Eric,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes, motion carries. Moving on, council subcommittee appointment with LaSalle versus Blissfield. We did have the original committee in 2023 for legal discussions with then former President Easton, myself, Eric Rogers, and then some staff members in our Meyer back at the time. So we do need to replace Mr. Easton if council wishes to do so. Is anyone interested in serving on that subcommittee?
I nominate Ken Nichols.
I'll support. I was gonna say, I would agree with that, but I'm gonna chime in if I may. I do think we need to have someone. I don't think it needs to be a two-person position. I do think there are 3 people that should be on it. So I was gonna say that before Bill got it. That's cool.
So I've got a motion, Bill, and a support Sherry, back second Sherry, to appoint Ken Nichols to the subcommittee for LaSalle versus Blissfield discussion.
Yes, does Ken have a desire to do this?
Yes, I will, I can do this. I had also thought of Bill doing it, and then as I got to thinking about this, either one of us would be all right. But currently, I'm also on the subcommittee for the water with the school, and I'm also on one of Nora's water teams. I don't remember the name of it, but saving water. Source water. There we go.
Protection plan.
Thank you. The SWWITP protection plan. So it seems to fall right in line with what I'm currently doing. So not that there's a direct correlation, but there's a relationship there. So I can see that it would make sense that I would be on it, but I'm fine if somebody else really wants to have. Sir.
Yeah, again, spread the stuff across the board. Ken, you've done a great job so far with, the subcommittees that you are on. I totally mean that wholeheartedly. I guess my question would be, would it be more beneficial to somebody that was actually on council when we built this project? That's more than no. And I know obviously you can do your homework and catch up, but again, there were, when Tim, I think probably the only one we were on when we actually built that thing. It's been so long now. Again, it's been a process, and knowing the ins and outs and how we did change orders and how we battled through this, would Ken be the best one to serve on that committee, just based on those that went through their process.
That's a very fair point.
I think you make a very good point there, Mike. I guess kind of where Ken was going with it, I thought a little bit about the position. However, I just felt that I've got the other positions, and it should be shared through the council.
Yeah,
so I don't know if Tim has that desire. Since he's been on board with the cell situation from the get-go.
May I jump in? Really, if
No.
you don't mind.
Yes.
Whoever sits on this position, I am good with. I think with or without having been through the construction process, whoever's selected, I'm more than happy to sit down and go through any of the things that we've done so far and kind of where we're at. I have this on the agenda. I don't know of a upcoming or near meeting that will be required to have this subcommittee, but because litigation is still ongoing, I want to be prepared. So I think it'll be more important than having been here during construction that whoever's on this committee would be available to adjust their schedule in the event that down the road there is something required that will need us to meet, because it most likely will be a daytime, possibly last minute, because again, it's litigation. We're working with the courts. There's kind of a lot of moving pieces here. So I would just say somebody who has a little bit flexible schedule that can be present, because if or when we get to the point, it'll be important that we have those 3 council members there. So that I would keep that in mind. But again, whoever serves, I think will do a great job.
Further, Tim, you good? There you go. Okay. All right. If there's no other discussion, please call roll. Did I repeat that? Or are we good? Motion point Ken, correct, to the subcommittee regarding the sale of Blissfield lawsuit.
Motion Bill, second Sherry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Tim,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes, motion carried. Moving on. Discussion on diving into the high service pump gallery for cleaning and inspection. Got a quote from $573.66.
Nora could not be here this evening, but if you guys have questions, let me know. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. We budgeted for this, the 6,500, so it's within budget. She did reach out to another company, Pittsburgh Tank and Tower, and they no longer, they could do the inspection, but not the actual cleaning, so that's why she's recommending settlement.
I move to approve the proposal to have Solomon Diving clean and inspect the high service pump gallery for the quoted amount of $5,573.66.
I'll support.
Motion one, second, Sherry, to approve proposal to have Solomon Diving clean and inspect the high surface pump gallery for the quoted amount $5,573.66. Discussion. I know it's kind of an easy thing to cut and paste thing out, but we've got like water treatment plant, wastewater treatment plant, where we got another discussion. It really doesn't even label both. So it's kind of, yes, we should know, but just for clarification, it would be easier. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of a, this is a North thing and this is a Steve thing. It really doesn't. For the, for the newer people, just kind of really spell it out.
Okay.
Okay, all right. If that makes sense, then I think.
No, it doesn't to me. What do you mean?
I mean, how many council members know where the gallery high service pump, is, or we're talking about the MCC doesn't mention the wastewater treatment. We've discussed it before, but you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay, so just to make things a little bit clearer for discussion wise.
I just figured since it was part of our capital improvement, capital discussion, that's kind of right with that. Right.
Yes.
But I hear.
Further discussion. Hearing none, Lisa, call roll.
Bill,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes, motion carries. Moving on, number 4, proposed purchase of a back truck. For passage. 3 years, right thing,
Yes, we have, it's been, I think, 3 years now. So I did include some information in the budget. I'm really gonna turn it over to Brent, and then Alex from McLean is here too, if you guys have specific questions on the equipment. But I did include in the agenda the information on the used 2018 sewer jet truck. I think I'm mixing up my paper, sorry. And then I also included on the agenda information if we were to purchase a new piece of equipment, just so that you guys could see that price difference. But Brent has been looking for quite a while. Finding a used back truck is very hard to find. That's in good conditions and would serve our needs. But again, I'm going to turn it over to them. If you guys have specific questions, please let us know. We did budget $300,000 for this in this current fiscal year.
Welcome, gentlemen.
This is Alex from. This is back truck. We've been looking for 3 years for a back truck. Finally found one that we feel that's truck applicable, that we can work, continuously. We have not had a back truck here. Most municipalities have had one. They average every 3 years, do every catch basin. We didn't have one since that day. So we'll be behind. So we need a truck because that one we can actually work. So this truck I found, Alex found it for us. It's out just in a small town south of Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska. That's how far they went. So if there's any questions, I'm going so you can answer anything.
I'm sorry, say your name again, please.
Alex.
Alex. Thanks. So Alex, what's up with what's going on in York that they're getting rid of this equipment, please?
So it's a similar size municipality, and just they update their machines every so often.
Really? They're similar to us, Nick, like you do that?
A lot of places do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I don't know the specifics of the trade-in, but like I said, it's their cycle for it. They're getting a very similar model, same make, just a new one.
And have you had eyes on this equipment, this piece of equipment?
I have not physically, no. Other members of our staff, we cover the whole Midwest, have. And it's something that we're the exclusive dealer for, so we're familiar with how the machine works, the company background.
And you're obviously confident that this is going to do what we needed to do, and it's a quality piece of equipment.
Yeah, it's a fantastic piece of equipment, and just based on discussions between Brett and I, what you guys look for and need, fits everything.
Do you have a hold on it right now? Because I know that these things are hot commodities.
They are very hot. I do have a hold currently, yes.
We would need to commit the intent to purchase tonight to keep that whole. Because there are other interested parties. Or not, so other interested parties can move forward.
I know.
Clarifying, you do have the choice.
Well, this is something that's been on Brent's radar for years, you know what I mean, we talk about it, again, we've got, what, over 400 service lines to homes that we need to still pop down and fix.
And this truck can be used, could be used on Baker Street, local streets, doing storm sewers.
Yeah, we contract out cleaning
Sanitary sewers, and basically water main breaks. Once you let services back, I don't know if you noticed anything, like say inside the right of ways. There's 3 or 4 sets of fiber, plus the coax. It's how possible anymore not to have one. They basically, they consider it for excavation, it's like hand digging. So you can go down, you can use this machine, they consider it hand digging.
This will help, maintain our infrastructure too, again, our sewers and whatnot, you know, municipalities obviously clean it out a lot more than we do, so again.
Like I said, I'm hoping, like I said, it's a start, I'm hoping we can use it, get going with it, and maybe we'll roll it and see how it works. Same.
Where the heck you gonna put this in our barns, obviously.
We're gonna we'll have to put it where it's got. We're gonna use it throughout the winter.
Brent, is your team already trained on the truck?
No, we have not had a Mack truck here, but I'm capable of, like, so once we sit down and work with the Queens.
They'll provide the training?
Yes.
Yeah, so upon delivery, we send a PTS or a product training specialist for the day. They'll answer any questions, demonstrate the features, and then that's our support is the dealer network up in Queen.
Last question, does it come with a year's supply of diesel fuel?
That'd be nice, but no, unfortunately.
You guys have seen pictures of it, correct?
Yes. So Alex, are you the broker, just the broker, or are you also, are you involved with the vehicles going from one municipality to another and then coming back to you?
So yeah, so I'm the McQueen dealer for Southern Michigan. McQueen covers all the Midwest. So someone that does what I do in Nebraska is taking this machine in on trade and just enters our.
Okay, so you don't supply the machines, or you do supply the machines?
We're the dealer.
You're the dealer of the machine.
Of the machines, yes.
Okay, then repairability, parts manageable, in the event of breakdowns, keeping it running, that sort of thing.
That's a huge advantage to the Vector. It is domestically made in Illinois, and we have all the parts and service all over here. We're based out of Lake Orion, and we have other locations in Michigan for service and a mobile tech that could fix things here if needed.
Okay.
And in 2018, as far as equipment, this type of equipment is concerned, I would not think it's crazy old by any means.
No, it just depends on the size and how often you use it. Some bigger cities will go through in a shorter time frame. Some older cities have ones that are older.
Let's see. And some cities have not.
Some, yeah.
Hopefully that'll be fewer.
That's right.
How many hours of operation are on this truck? Do you have that?
Yeah, 1,320. It should be noted though that it will be a little bit more than that upon delivery.
Right.
They're still using it.
Yeah, it's still in use.
And how does it get back? Then there's something here stating how it's going to come here to Blissfield.
It gets shipped on like a big flatbed.
Gotcha. So our guys don't go out there, nothing like that.
What's our ETA to have it?
So they're purchasing a new machine. It's supposed to be there in May. So for them to get their machine, us to bring it back, get everything in situation, bring it here around May or June.
So I would assume if something breaks down on it between now and May, they'll take care of that, or is that our responsibility as well?
Yeah, it's still their machine up until it comes in.
Gotcha. All right, thank you.
You do like an inspection, like a, like used cars. 10-point inspection and 100-point inspection.
Yeah, so we do a very, very obnoxiously long, thorough inspection when it comes in. And that's from the, from the Vector factory, it goes to every single possible thing that could be replaced or should be replaced or doesn't need to be replaced. And Roger will go through that in a percent.
Okay, this is obviously something that's been needed and been requested from our staff. Danielle, I guess looking, again, talking about this, a used versus a new. Again, quite a difference in 300 versus 561,000 this year, which I can imagine would only be 600,000 next year for a purchaser in 2 years. When we're talking about a new, is that the final cost with interest and everything calculated into that, or is that not in that number? Or is that like a purchase new?
That
price?
is the purchase new price, and then the interest rates, if you are listed down below.
So you're looking at much more for a brand new truck if we were
Yes.
to go that route.
Yes.
Which again, it's taken us this long to find something, let alone budget for it, et cetera. I can only imagine what it would cost us, 2-3 years down the line. And it's about getting this project done and being more efficient for you, Fred. So I think this is the right thing. Alex, I appreciate we've been trying to find one, trying to budget for it. So
Well, I'm looking at the year, just, minimal hours, the engine and the chassis miles, I mean, they're very low.
Yeah.
That year.
truck
For 7 years.
Yeah.
I'll move that the village council approve the submission of intent to purchase the 2018 back truck from McQueen in the amount of $300,000.
I'll support it.
a motion, Ken, and a second, Sherry, to authorize the purchase of the 2018 Vector truck, the amount of $300,000 from Queen. Further discussion? Okay. Now, please call roll.
Eric,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, gentlemen.
That is like a big shot in the arm, huh? Yeah, it's a big deal. We planned for this, they got it, and we can pay for it. I don't know if everybody in the real world understands that, but from a village council perspective, that is called a win.
All right, number 5, purchase of aerators for ditches at the wastewater treatment.
We might have another win. Ooh. I would love
So
that.
this is something that's been discussed since the rebuild as well, something that's been needed. We've only got what, one operating aerator, is that correct?
One in each day.
Steve, welcome, sir. I'll turn it over to you.
All right. Yeah, this is an item I have to say, I look back on the original proposal that came before you guys. I think I saw something back as far as 2015 on the original, whoever the engineering company that came up with this idea. Search out far back that one. That's not on this one, but it was part of the original plan for wastewater plant. There were many things that were cut out of there due to cost, obviously. But as we're all aware, there prices don't go down there all the time. So we spoke, myself, and the two projects are related is the MCC and the ditches as well. I spoke quite a conversation last Friday with workers from UIS. We contacted Clay, which is the gentleman that's in there, coordinating between that of making sure that this ran smoothly. We were able to get a lot of good information out there of what was included in the project, what wasn't, the coordination between the electrical, because now that you're going to have 2 rotors each ditch, which is the way they're designed now versus one and each ditch. They'll have 15 horse motors on each of the rotors that versus the one with a 30 horse, which is either on or off. It really pulls the juice. So once this all comes together and we're able to get the VFDs and all this in there as well, It's the engineering company figures, and that was about 3 years ago, was about an $18,000 a year savings electrical wise. So once these get working together, currently the requirements for deals and ditches are 2.530, and we run right now 6%, which is basically wasting the electricity. So like I said, once all these start coming together, the cost savings will be there. The fact that the FCC and our plant is, which should have been, as I said, part of the project is 37 years old right now. As I say, some of those panels you open up, it's kind of looking at like, you know, Frankenstein. Very scary, but it's served its purpose. It's done well. 25 years of electrical, and it's on and running all the time, nonstop. So there's no between the electrical and that. The rotors on the stitches are running 24/7.
Will that help if we, obviously having the two aerators, that would help with the sludge as well? I mean, the settling down on the one side, right? So
Yes,
I should say
it
those
should,
twenties.
it should help that way. It should keep more consistent flow through the tanks. It'll give us redundancy right now. If you know, the other thing too is right now, if one of our rotors went out, the entire ditch, so there's half the process that are basically shut down. So we can make it work on low flows, but you know, high flows would be kind of in bad shape. But yeah, with the two rotors in each one, that's redundancy. And as we're finding out more and more is when you start asking them on stationary rotors, that's really not a thing anymore, where you start seeing the replacements of these. The current ones are set up on floats in there. They're more adjustable, they're more flexible. Like I said, the blades on the current ones are starting to wear down. The components in there are starting to wear out. Instead of, you know, like the bearings on those particular rotors, I think are about $2,800 a piece just for the bearings by themselves. And you got two on each side for the current rotors. But like I say, I think they'll be more advantageous, not only cost wise for the future of the plant down the road. If they put it down the road, that's the same type of apparatus I would recommend on that. So
Do they have to be shut down and drained and pumped and everything for this?
no.
Everything from underneath?
They'll just maintain and just the process will stay there. Like I say, that's why I wanted to get with Ken from UIS and Ken when he came in, we spoke with Clay from SN, just making sure we're not overlapping, because some of the things in there, when you read the descriptions, it looks like there's overlapping in there, but currently, like say you have in your main building there, you have 230 amp breakers, which has to be broken down into 415 amp breakers, so that those will feed the VFDs, which I believe is the part 2 of that, which is for a later date, I believe, down the road. A lot of the coordination that has to be done on making sure that we're continuing to run and not shutting down and losing our process there. So I want to make sure that our installer for the rotors and our installer for our MCCs are on the same page, so that we didn't lose any steps in the process and we didn't overlap on any of the processes of getting this all together. So I think it'll all come together real well. I like what I'm seeing on that. And we're just waiting to, I guess, to get final approval to make sure everything is good on that. So, but I think this is the way of the future of what I see everybody doing there. I had one of our employees walk the different plants, and I guess they asked what we had in our plants, and they were kind of baffled by that. You know, we still have that old technology. But you know what? It served us well. It did what we needed to. It kept us going. We everything with our permit, so I can't complain. We've gotten our money's worth out of this, and like I say, this should have been part of the project once again. Money was
Just like a pool, gotta pick and choose, prioritize.
yeah.
When it has the part down here, Danielle / Steve, for providing the lifting equipment at a rental rate of $7,000. That's to bring the piece of equipment in, and how that works.
So that is the monthly rate to rent the lift, to lift the aerators into the ditches.
Okay.
So they'll install them, but we have to have a way to get them up there. So I don't know, Steve, we're still talking to them. I don't know that we would need to do a full month rental. I don't think it'll take that long. They were thinking maybe a week, but I gave you a full month because I wanted to be on the safe side. Really, I wanted to show you guys that even with that at the full month, we're still within budget. And yes.
Yeah, because they'll trailer them in on a semi, and then you gotta get them off the semi as well.
Gotcha.
And then put them into the ditches as well. So, but we're kind of on hold right now, they're trying to get some other room out there for currently, but that's another story for another time.
And so Steve kind of talked about this item and the next agenda item altogether. So I just want to touch on budget really quick. So we did budget $220,000 for the rotor project. We did not budget the MCC technically. We talked about it and I had asked council to wait to see if we could use our RRI funds that we've been putting away as part of our requirement for USDA. USDA, at that time, I told you guys, let's wait, talk to them. They approved us to use that fund. So you guys will, if you approve the MCC panel tonight, you'll get a budget amendment that shows that RRI fund being lowered and it funding that $115,500. So that'll help. So I think, and I put the balance.
67.
Yes, I'm like, I know I told you guys all of this in here too, but I just want to make sure that you and our residents understand how we're funding those.
I didn't mean to.
No, you're fine.
But
You're fine.
they are interchanged
They are.
to there between the two of them. And like I said, I think it's gonna come together real well. So we got used, I asked for many things down there, did all our spaces, we did a lot of electrical, they've got the people who have worked in our plants, so they're very familiar with our surroundings. And I feel like they're not out to take advantage of anything, from what I've seen of them and worked with them in the past. I think they're doing the best job for us from their standpoint. So.
And obviously two items that we talked about at our budget meetings.
Right.
And obviously some things that we need for a length of time as well. So
Yes.
this might be nice to have a win-win-win.
Yes.
I know, and all under budget.
Yeah.
And all under budget, that's the key. Nice job, Sherry, you're right.
All right, so first item regarding the wastewater plant is the road replacement.
Move to approve the wastewater treatment plant road replacement project with SN Aeroflow in the amount of $204,847. I support.
Motion Bill, second Eric, to approve the wastewater treatment plant road replacement project with SN Airflow in the amount of $204,847. Further discussion? None, please call roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes. Motion carries. Moving on, now we're talking about the motor control center, as Steve already discussed. This would be phase one of proposed project, $115,500.
I move to approve the MCC replacement with UIS in the amount of $115,500. I'll support.
Motion Glenn, second Sherry, to approve the MCC replacement, the wastewater treatment plant with UIS, in the amount of $115,500. Further discussion?
Not glamorous material. No one's going to see this out there in the real wide world. It's not a shiny, bright object, but it is obviously necessary material.
That's good.
Further, Lisa, call roll.
Tim,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes. Motion carries.
I just wanted to make a real quick note. You know, you say this frequently of your staff. You guys rent and Nora, and obviously with you, Steve, as well. You guys, working with your budgets and things that you have, and working with us and all the council coming together and having these real serious discussions during budget time. I think we should be very proud of our village at this point, because we have talked about this stuff, and in all seriousness, we're able to do this now, and that is a big feather in our cap, because people are working together as a team. And I just want us to all recognize that. I think it's a big, big deal. This is stuff you guys have been waiting on. It's coming to fruition, and I'm really happy for our village. I truly am. Nice work, Daniel. Nice work, the team. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of a,
Really is a big deal.
yeah, moving on from that. Again, so we just spent $626,000 on utilities tonight. So again, you know, I know the public are wanting the information. They want to know what do things cost and how do our utility funds, why are they where they are. So again, you know, it is an expensive thing to treat and produce the water and the sewer. So again, you know, again, we're trying to budget things, keep things in check, you know, and we hate to spend money, but obviously things like this mat truck is going to save time, save labor costs in the future. You know, the MCC is going to save on electricity, things like that. So, you know, we're not just willy-nilly throwing money there. We're really working with our consultants, working with our engineers, working with our staff to say, you know, how are we going to do this most effectively, most efficiently? So again, I certainly want that information out there, but 626,000 is big bucks, and 115 of it has been set aside for the USDA regulations when we bonded for that wastewater project. So that's something that we're able to do this year. We're not kicking the can down the road. We're not putting this stuff off. We're trying to get these projects done as we can. This is sort of why the rates are a little bit high or a lot high or whoever. But again, we're not having to bond out to try to complete these projects. So people need to understand there is a rhyme to the reason. There's you know, a method to the madness. Unfortunate as it is, we are moving things along, and we're trying to again be as effective and efficient as we can. But this is, you know, inexpensive, but it's great 3 steps to reduce our, you know, and treat our water and our sewer. Absolutely, yes.
And this should be probably some of the final higher dollar things for the wastewater plant.
Yeah.
Obviously, the land,
Except for that, yeah.
but you know, that's down the road. You know, we're making do with what we got, and we're making it what we need to. But like I say, of the major expenses for the plant, like I say, some of it that should have been included, that some of the things that were cut out, which was I kind of shake my head at, but it is what it is. But this should be, like, I would think, some of the final major expenses for that plant, which should, I mean, your rotor should in another 20, 25 years. I don't know if I'll see 20, 25 years, but
I still might be on the board. I don't know.
there you go. All right, thank you.
He's got the longevity thing.
There you go. Sounds good.
Thanks, Steve. And yes, appreciate all you guys, all you staff. Departments, you guys working hard, appreciate it. Moving on, we have a proposal for, like most other years, a aquatic center season pass holiday discount.
I move to approve the holiday season aquatic center 15% discount as presented from December the 1st, 2025 through December the 18th, 2025.
I'll support.
Motion 1 second, Eric, to approve the holiday season aquatic center 15% discount as presented from December 1st, 2025 to December 18th, 2025. Discussion. I know it's kind of a balancing act on, you know, the non-residents, you know, is it beneficial because we get more sales, or is it kind of, you know, kicking the butt because they're getting the benefit, they pay off the pool. So fully understand that. Again, of the bone pool being closed, cum season's closed, I think we should advertise this. And maybe we can get more non-residents to buy in seasonal passes and get them for a discount when we raise our numbers, hopefully raise our revenue or eat into our deficit in that pool. So, you know, I say let's advertise to the county, whether it's, you Telegram, Facebook, whatever. Let's see if we can get some more non-residents in here.
Yeah, and we have done that the past couple of years. I did send you guys a summary at the end of this season, showing the percentages of resident versus non-resident in the different areas that they come from. And last year we did set a record for membership, but I would anticipate that that will grow, like you said, with some of our neighboring community pools closing. But we did have, this has been a big hit. People love to come purchase them and give them as gifts. Last year we sold 92 memberships during the sale.
Any further? Let's call roll.
Sherry,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes, motion carries. Moving on. Proposed personnel policy amendment, discussed at the committee meeting. Mainly about the weapons policy.
Move council to approve the amendment to the personnel policy amending the on-the-job section effective.
Support.
Motion Tim and secretary to approve the amendment to personnel policy amending the on-the-job section effective immediately. Good dialogue at our committee meeting. Further discussion. Hearing none, please call roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Gwen,
No.
Sherry,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes, motion carries. Moving on, discussion on an agreement with Lebanon County for a pilot program for recycling. Danielle, Brent.
Yeah, so the county reached out to me to inquire if we were interested in working with them on their recycling pilot program. I did talk to Brent and Chief both about this. So the agreement would be that it's a 9-month period that the county would pay for through a grant, the dumpster for recycling that we would place somewhere. It would be picked up twice a week. If there was any illegal dumping inside the container, the county would be responsible for that. However, our costs or responsibilities would be outside, so if people pile up trash around it, we would be responsible for cleaning that up and disposing of it. And then we would also be responsible for providing a location. So I talked to Brent because he was here when we had the recycle area before, and outside dumping was a concern. We did have some buildup. An issue, yes, that would be a more fair way to say it. I'm hoping with the 2 pickups, if you guys choose to do this, that we can monitor it. I'm recommending that it be placed in the parking lot across from DPW so that hopefully they can keep eyes on it. We can try to keep eyes on it. The police department can keep eyes on it. I did talk to Chief a little bit about enforcement, and if we're able to catch somebody dumping there, or if they put some trash in, we can find their name. We could cite them for illegal dumping to help keep that down at a minimum.
Are there cameras in that area?
There are not. No. So I'm putting this out in front of you guys. I asked the county if I could talk to you guys before we just made a decision. If it's something you want to work with them on, we would just do a intergovernmental agreement saying exactly what I just told you. And they do want feedback. So this is a pilot program for them. They're trying to figure out what they want to do countywide for recycling. So if we have a lot of dumping or we're seeing issues, good or bad, they want to know all of that so that they can evaluate this program at the end. But if you have questions, let me know. Please let Brent or Chief know if you guys have questions for them too.
My question would be, the pilot program being a 9-month, what if we find out automatically within a matter of 3 months, this is not working? Are we committed to that time frame?
So we are allowed to notify them ahead of time under the agreement that we want to terminate. They're just asking for 30 days notice if we were wanting to terminate prior to the 9 months.
Does this provide better service than our current bid contract with Stevens? You know,
As far as materials
Materials.
accepted, it would be the same. So they did send me, it would be like cardboard, plastic. I didn't think it included glass, but it does. So I think very similar to what you can put in your bin now.
And then obviously this will kind of factor into if it's successful, how we move forward with the single hauler or with our recycling contract, et cetera, with Stevens, correct? I mean, that's obviously, if people are getting that for free now from the county, or we continue it, again, the rolling bin contract with Stevens. or whatever.
We talked about not renewing the recycle contract with Stevens, which would not prevent our residents from still participating in that toter and getting it, but they would go directly to Stevens rather than the village. Or our residents, if the county chooses to move forward with this or some other project with recycling, they could use that as a resource too. I don't know what the county is going to do at the end of this.
So no guarantee.
Right.
Keep it for you.
But again, I think they're hoping to gather that information, and my understanding, we can always change this, at this point, the village is not moving forward with the recycle contract with Stevens. That would be on an individual basis. And people can still use the Lenawee County Recycle Center, but they do have to take it.
Did you give us Brent and Chief's feedback on it?
Yes, Brent's concerned, and he's here, so I don't want to speak for him.
Just in the past, the building before that you had over there that we attended wasn't big enough to get stored. So when we get over there, it would be stacked outside the door, all encapsulated. So we pick it all up with a loader bucket, put it in a dumpster, or it all get put into the dump truck. So we had to be over there at that time for the garbage truck. And the big reason why I quit is people were throwing bags full of like needles and syringes. One of the guys got stuck from, there was a late law at the time, or was Republic. That was it. They said they won't pick up no more like that in the beds. So it wasn't just even the debris. It was that dumpster will never carry it. It was just jugs. I think maybe even if you might have, Chief might have, because Scott can't throw it. Maybe blowing everywhere. So it would be actually right outside the door, just piled up.
And what was the?
About an hour over there to clean up for the
Do you
guys.
recall the pickup was then, Brett, was it just once a week?
Oh, twice. But yeah, we picked on Monday, picked up on Monday, so it wasn't once.
So it was a once a week.
And it was glass, and plastic. Cardboard wasn't in there.
Metal.
And metal, the metal dumpster wasn't the problem. It was and there was garbage got thrown. There was a lot. It was just,
So there's gonna be a dumpster for each thing, like. for
It's a
glass or-
combined recycling dumpster, so you, no matter what you're recycling, it all goes in one dumpster.
Was that take up like 2, 3?
it's kind of like the one you see up north. I think the guy just got the sliding doors.
Yeah, that's
They
my
said it-
understanding.
Like they said at Myers parking lot. So it's not like, just so you understand that building.
And much like, you know, we talked.
28 totes in there. Was also in that building. Remember, all the way around the side.
And we talk about this often at these meetings, you know, Carl's here, Jackie, Glenn, I know we've discussed the blight issue. And again, we certainly don't want to set ourselves up for failure there. It is a trial period, but you know, be a little more assertive on it. Yes, we should probably post, Chief say, you know, let's post, you know, the rules and the law or, you know, the ordinance that if you're illegally dumping, you can be fined, et cetera, you know, a sign. Very cheap, and I think it would be an effective way to say, you know, we're not gonna play the games, you know, this is your one chance, and now you're gonna be fined if you're abusing the system. So,
But what do you do with
We have a mechanism now that's enforcing illegal dumping.
So can you say it's in?
We do have, we already have statutes in place for illegal dumping.
Right,
So that.
but a
it's
cheap
part of
sign,
it.
I think, go a long way to say, you know what, we're not gonna be playing games here, we don't wanna see like it was before.
But is it illegal dumping if it's some 4 bags of milk jugs just set aside? That they can't fit in, that's the problem. It wasn't
If it's not in the dumpster, it's dumping.
because it's just blown all over, that's the problem.
And we could get some signs from Darren for pretty affordable for that period of time that it would be there.
So Brent, I I'm getting the sense that you're not keen on this.
No, I know what it'll be. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure it'll be all in the parking lot.
Gotcha. And then chief, overall, what's your perspective, give it a whirl or not give it a whirl?
I prefer Brent, he had more experience.
Well, that's
I was
good,
asked,
okay.
I was
Honestly,
asked,
I just told you prior with the prior.
I was
one.
asked if there was,
We still
problems with
have it.
something, would we have an enforcement?
I specifically asked chief about the enforcement, because that's what I was anticipating, is that we would have issues, and then how would we address that?
And I mean, we've had one before. That's what the experience was before with the building.
I know.
So
Same
Brent, you
thing.
said, it had a sliding door on it?
No, it was wide open. First started out, it was glass, one side, glass paper product. And then you had to keep it separate. Then they didn't care, it just mixed it. And then it was just right out the doors.
We were glad to see it go.
Yes,
But you said they only collect them once a week,
once,
so you think maybe twice a week would reduce that problem?
that was a big building. Yeah, I guess you can try it if you can get out of it, but I'm afraid that's what you're gonna find out.
I personally like the idea. And I do recycling, but I have to take it to Richfield, Ohio. They have those big dumpsters down there.
What are they?
So what? Oh.
Yeah, I think they got one in Adrian.
Yeah, we can't sure why.
No, they're good size. They got some, Adrian's got them. They're them regular.
Say in Adrian, they've got only a certain amount of hours, they've got a gate that'll shut, so.
Yes.
Can we
Right,
give
well, that'd
a-
be fine.
Can we gate this?
I go to Adrian.
So to do it here while somebody's here to keep an eye on it versus in the middle of the night, they come down.
Yeah,
So-
or like when you get up north, they're recycling, their garbage is all, you drive in, you get so many, I could say, you use the township north, you get so many tags. And then you just drive through and you recycle it all, it's all manned by certain times, there's people there all the time.
So where would this be placed?
So I proposed that it be placed in the parking lots on North Main Street. I would say kind of put it back by that building, is where I would put it.
Where nobody parks,
Yes.
the parking lot.
And that's where the recycle center was before, that building, it's before, that's what that was, the recycle center.
There's 5 spots in the inside aisle, if we could just take up those, right, throw it across from that.
Or on the backside where the recycle center was.
For so they could get.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just gonna let you guys know that the county is working with, they're hoping 3 municipalities. The other 2 have already confirmed. So I do respect and understand Brent's concern. I honestly share the same concern. I'm hoping that we could maybe do a little education to our residents. But I also think that there's some value in working with the county, because if they're going to do something like this, I think they need to go into it eyes wide open, knowing what the issues are going to be. And I think this is a good opportunity. I've seen a shift with the county here, I think recently, where they've tried to partner with local communities and communicate a little bit better, which I think is hugely beneficial to all of the entire county in Blissfield. So I want to try to support them as well. That's all I was gonna say.
Can anyone use this? Obviously, it's the county thing, the regular residents, or here for the residents come and dump their stuff here.
We're not monitoring, and I don't think who puts it in there now. So they were just said, as long as there's room, they can use it.
And again, Big Brother, again, I hate the whole idea of cameras, but it may be a necessity with this kind of stuff. We got the same jerks that beat up our slides, parts, et cetera. If we have to pay a certain fee or whatever, monthly fee to monitor the stuff, maybe something we budget for if the project's successful and it's just about the dumping. So we can get a flock out there.
The operation, you just have to see.
So, again, if we can cancel it, if we don't like it, 30 days, get it out of here.
I would say have a letter. I would be in favor of doing this. December is obviously going to be a crazy month with people having more paper products, things like that. Wanting to recycle with gifts and Christmas and the holidays. But I'd have the letter ready for January 1st. I'd say we're done after, we're done right now.
I get Brett's concern as well.
I do too.
I like the idea though, because it is 2 days a week as opposed to the one, maybe being 2 days a week, there might not be the issue that where there was before, and if we can get out of it, you know, I like the idea that if it's not.
You happen to know what the other two committees are, Danielle?
I was looking, I don't think she told me, so I do not know, and I don't want to misspeak.
Well, I would make a motion to move to approve the intergovernmental agreement between Lenawee County and the Village of Blissfield for participation in mixed-use recycling dumpster pilot program, and to authorize the village administrator to execute the agreement. The host site shall be designated as Bachmeyer parking lot on North Lane Street.
I support.
Motion one, second bill to approve the intergovernmental agreement between Lenawee County and the Village of Blissfield for participation in the mixed-use recycling dumpster pilot program, and to authorize the village administrator to execute the agreement. The host site shall be designated as Bachmeyer parking lot on North Main Street. Further discussion?
Well, I drive by there every day, so I have no problem seeing monitoring that and reporting.
Monday, Tuesday,
Doing
Wednesday,
this.
Thursday, Sunday.
Brent's window stares out at
They're
us.
all right. So I'm picking up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
It's gonna be Carl. It's gonna be Carl. You
I
know.
don't know about.
And then Jackie's not far down the road, so we're covering.
Will there be certain hours posted? No, I think if you could restrict that to daylight hours, that would maybe help people dump in bags of trash and everything else. For the start. That's their complaint.
We'll see how it goes.
There's an old Arlo chamber sitting up there somewhere.
Put a deer camp.
There you
You
go.
got one.
There you go.
His window, his office window faces there. Lisa,
This is your baby.
Sherry,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Mike.
yes, the motion carries. Moving on, we have a requested closed session. Moving to closed session to consider the purchase lease of real property up to a time and option to purchase or lease that real property is obtained. I need a motion to adjourn into closed session.
Move to go into closed session at, according to my computer, 7:22 p.m. pursuant to 15.268, parentheses 1. parentheses B, to consider the purchase or lease of real property up to the time and option to purchase or lease that real property is obtained. I'll support.
I have a motion for Bill and a second Eric to move into closed session. Consider that purchase or lease of real property. We will exit that a little bit. There may be a motion, depending on discussion. So for those that do want to sit in the cold and come back in, we apologize if you need to request that publicly for that, but there could be a possible action following that closed session, just FYI. So Lisa will go ahead and call roll for closed session.
Ken,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes, motion carries.
We'll end Zoom and then get back on after a closed session.
You have to go fast.